This is the Freegene U8 Plus Bluetooth 4 smartwatch. Now included with the watch here is a micro charging cable, a metal tool of some sort, which I'm not exactly sure what this is for. I'm guessing it's either for changing the band on the watch or for opening the back. Although the instructions say the battery's not removable, so I'm kind of leaning towards it's for opening or changing the band of the watch. And the instructions. The instruction manual is pretty basic. Could use some better details of the functions of the watch and better an English translation. Again, for example, like there's no explanation of what this tool is even included for. But again, there's lacking information in the instructions. There's also no information on how to update the firmware, if there is any updates for this or will be, and no warranty information as well. Now, my initial impressions of this watch is that it's actually fairly simple looking, but actually a nice design. With the nice soft silicone band and a metal watch case, it actually looks surprisingly solid, well made and comfortable to wear. I was actually surprised that it didn't look so much like a budget watch on the outside. I'm not so sure about how waterproof the casing it is, since it appears to be some access holes on this. So I'm assuming it's kind of water resistant to a point. But again, the instructions don't really say one way or the other with this. Now, initial charging with this is fairly quick, as it charged in less than an hour, but it only has about 3 hours of talk time, which I think is a bit short for this. But again, it's a watch, so you may not use that to talk on for a long period of time. But the one thing that really annoys me initially with this watch is it has I'll try to turn it on. I'll put it up to the mic. It has that annoying sound effect when you turn it on, and let me turn it off. And a really annoying sound effect when you turn it off. I really don't like that, and I found so far no way to actually turn it off. I'm sorry, I'm turning it back on again. Actually found no way to turn that off. The power button is on the right side here. The charging port is actually on the opposite side here. I'm sorry, I blocked that with my hand. There's the charging port, and there's the power button. The instructions indicate with this that this works for both Apple and Android phones. So I decided to actually try this on both. I initially had issues getting this watch to pair with my S6 for some reason. It took multiple tries for me to actually get this to pair on my phone on the S6. And once I got the watch paired, I could dial and see my contacts and that kind of thing. But for some functions to actually work on this watch, you have to download the app called Smartwatch for the Android or for the Apple to be downloaded. I did that, and as the instructions said, but the application, at least on my Samsung Galaxy S6, would only crash and would not run on my S6. Now, I did successfully make a call with the watch, and the speaker itself was okay and worked better than I expected for being on my wrist. However, with the app not working, the functions of the watch are kind of limited to some of the basic features of the watch. Now, I also paired this with my iPhone 5 that I have, and again, I had some difficulties initially getting the watch to pair. I did manage to get it to pair, but initially it would connect and then disconnect, and it took a few tries to get it to pair properly, and the watch worked like it was supposed to. Now, the app for the Apple actually is also required, and it actually worked on my iPhone 5. So the screen display, and I'll try to bring it up here, actually looks pretty nice. It's got good real estate, and the screen is very actually reactive to my pushing of the icons and moving them, as you can see. It kind of works similar to what most iPhone or Android devices work. The apps on the device are fairly basic, though. You get the phone book, text messaging, music, camera, anti-theft, ringtones, which are only a few of those, a stopwatch, pedometer, alarm, a clock, those kinds of things. The settings also with this I found are a bit sparse, and could use a bit more in the setting options, including a firmware update option, which I didn't see, and a way to turn off those annoying sound effects. I couldn't find that. And the apps, okay, I tried out. They work okay, but they're fairly basic for the most part. And of course, with the Android phone, I couldn't try the additional features of the app, but with the Apple, you do get some additional cool features that you could use. But the one thing I found that's a little annoying with this watch is the screen goes black, and the maximum time that you could set it is for 30 seconds before that happened. And that's really annoying, especially when I was initially trying to pair. I've also looked for a firmware update. I couldn't find anything other than something that was in Chinese, and I wasn't even sure if it's actually for this particular watch. I've contacted the company to find out if there are firmware updates or a software app update that fixes both the difficulty in pairing and the problem with the app working on the S6. I will update my written portion of my review on Amazon if I get an update or an answer for that. But this is a budget-level smartwatch. It actually has a lot of potential and actually looks pretty solid. But, again, could use some updates to help with the better pairing. Also, the issues with the Android app on the S6. S6 needs an update. The apps themselves are fairly basic, and the setup functions of the watch could be better and a little bit more robust, I think, along with better instructions. And again, a way to turn off those annoying sound effects when you turn the watch on and off. Also, like I said, one of the things to keep in mind with this watch is there's no warranty that I could find for the watch. I give this watch 4 stars.